folks, welcome back to the MAIZE Pig Farmer, and it's a short one this week, as you can see, because I'm on a bit of a mini holiday from work and I didn't want to spend loads of it recording videos, but wanted to keep the content flowing. So today we are going to be doing some jobs, but not the job that I promised. So planting the corn is going to be next week's job, because that's quite a big job. So we're going to be doing some field prep, some weeding and things like that. So we've got 2 fields to plough and a bunch of weeding to do. And by weeding I mean spraying herbicide, because we are too late to weed because I wasn't organised enough on here. Normally, I say normally, when I'm organised for weeding, what I like to do is plant, roll and then weed. Because that way you don't take the hit of spraying herbicide, which gives you a yield penalty even if you're using precision farming, which I'm not on here. Yes, even if you use the see and spray technology, you still take a yield hit. So normally what I like to do is, as I said, plant, if you haven't ploughed, plant, roll, weed. That way you don't take the yield penalty. Didn't do that on here. So we've got weeds to spray, we've got a sprayer, we've got some herbicide, we can take care of it. But first I'm going to get these 2 small fields ploughed in. We need to take the manure and the slurry to the PGA. We need to go buy some brewer's grain, and that'll take us through to the end of March, ready to progress into April next time. Get the corn planted. We've got a lot of fertilising to get done. We'll do some of that in April and through the rest of the year, and get pigs sold and that kind of thing. Yeah. So as I said, yeah, short one, because I'm on a bit of a mini holiday from work. Sort of, well, not sort of, unplanned. Was kind of short notice. I think I said earlier, well, maybe not in the MAIZE Plus video, but in some of the other videos, I was away with work at the beginning of last week and was exhausted from the heat, and basically ended up going to bed at like 8 o'clock on Monday night last week, and I just slept and slept and slept. I went into work the next day and I was chatting to one of the friends at work, and I was like, I really need a holiday. And he turned and said, well, why don't you take some holiday? So I booked some holiday, and here we are. Not going anywhere, not doing anything. It's Sunday, as it always is when I record this video. As always, got all the dogs with me, so there may be some stops and starts. So yeah, getting the brewer's grain brought yesterday, took the teenager back to university. Kind of tired today, just kind of enjoying a chilled out day, and yeah, I want to just relax really, so that's the plan. Next job, get the corn rolled. So not corn, the sugar beets. Last time we planted the sugar beets, I did say that I would probably roll it and I would wait until the next game day. And also, as I said, the dogs would interrupt me as they've started to do. So yeah, going to get the sugar beets rolled. Quite often I won't roll things like sugar beets and corn, because you lose the texture you get when you plant them. But wanting to get the most we can get out of what we're planting, I thought I'd roll them. So this is the Amazon roller that we leased the last time we did this job. It's a nice bit of kit. I quite like it. It's probably going to appear on some other saves that we do. Yeah, I was travelling back from the north of the country yesterday, and I drove past quite a lot of farmland, as you know, I was travelling a decent chunk of the length of the country. I passed a lot of farmland, past a lot of reasonable amount of farmland being worked, past a few agricultural dealerships. It was good, you know, kept me entertained for a little bit of the journey. It was a boring journey, you know. The drive home was, I think, 4-ish hours. In the evening, it was not the most fun in the world, if I'm honest. A lot of traffic, and yeah, seeing a bit of farming going on really did help. Something that amazed me, I don't know if they were normal size bales or if they were from something like a Heston baler, but there was a couple of fields full of straw bales. They were huge. And the other thing that amazed me was there were some fields where the farmers had just stacked straw bales in the fields and then put like a tarp over the top of them the height that they had stacked the bales was insane. I don't know what they'd used to stack them, but geez, they had gone very high with the bale stacking. So yeah, that field's rolled. I was now going to put the narrows on the Fiat, and then it turns out I already had them on. They don't look particularly narrow to me, so we're going to repair the Fiat because we've got the cash to keep it repaired. Quite amazing actually that we've already done nearly 18 hours in this tractor because we brought it new, and yeah, we've put a lot of hours on it. So I grabbed the little sprayer that we've got, load it up with herbicide and get spraying weeds. And I've been running the clock relatively quickly because basically we just need to get through the time, because we need to get to April to plant the corn anyway. And originally I had intended that I would plant the corn in this video, and I kind of thought, actually, I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours making videos while I'm off. So over the next few days they will be, actually some of them aren't because some of them I've already made, but some of them are shorter, some of them won't be. So just kind of go with it. That's why there weren't some over the weekend. Yeah, so just taking advantage of my break. So like I said, normally I'm not a fan of spraying weeds. I try and avoid them. So even with precision farming, I am not afraid of ploughing, because if you direct drill into a plough field, you don't get the penalty for ploughing. I know, kind of cheaty, but it's how it's set up. And if you need to plough because of the crop you've planted, you should definitely plough. And then the other thing is that if you need to do it within the month that you've planted, if you weed, you won't get any weed growth. If you wait until the first stage of growth, you will still get weed growth. Now, you might say that that's not realistic, but remember, it's a month that you're playing in. So you're basically just pulling out those small, tiny bits of weed growth, stopping them establishing themselves. That's how I view it. So, you know, getting them before they get established rather than letting them get established, those little bits of root growing and then you pulling part of it out and leaving the root behind and that kind of thing. Yeah, let's go with it. It works. And it's the routine that I was using on Saxthorpe, and it worked really well, and I deviated from it once and I let them grow a phase and I weeded, and then the whole field was still just full of weeds. So it was a complete waste of time. And I just left it because the penalty from doing this is almost not worth doing, because the yield hit from spraying herbicide versus not spraying it, it's up in the air as to whether you should even bother, to be honest. So I'm doing it because I feel I should, but you know what, particularly if you're feeding it to animals, do you really want to cover it in herbicide? I know when I played, I'd often talk about my Sandy Bay Let's Play, which was all about feeding animals. I wouldn't spray herbicide, pretty sure, on the... Didn't you get weeds in grass with seasons on 19? There were some crops I wouldn't spray herbicide on because I was feeding them to the cows. Anyway, I've installed the canisters of stuff mod because I only need a few hundred litres of herbicide, and there was no point buying a full IBC. Costs a little bit more per litre, but still cheaper than buying 2,000 litres because we need like a few hundred litres. So that's why I brought these. Kind of handy for a small scale farm. Definitely something to consider for your smaller farm where, you know, say I'm only weeding a few fields a year. You might want to think about it. Or think about the other option of actually using a mechanical weeder at the appropriate point early on in the cycle. It's worth the time, I think, particularly with the cost of herbicide. Yeah. Anyway, so there's no finance update this week either. I'm trying to keep the time shorter while I'm off work. So that'll come next week. We'll go through to the beginning of May at least next time, so we have some numbers to look at. And then we'll really be pushing into harvest, and I think there's maybe only 3 or 4 videos left on here, which might make some people less happy, because I know a lot of you are enjoying this series, but it's a mini series, and you know, traditionally the mini series only lasted a few weeks, and we're, you know, a lot of my mini series were sort of 3 or 4 episodes and we were done, whereas this one's dropped to 12, so I think we won't go more than 20. So anyway, we're getting nearly done. So hey, thank you to the patrons and YouTube channels. Appreciate you supporting the channel. If anyone's still looking to pre-order a copy of FS25, think about using my partner code. You will really help me out. Really hope we can get to bronze partner. It's not really progressing at the moment, so yeah, if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate, because currently I'm getting further away rather than closer. That would be really cool. And yeah, any comments or questions or suggestions on the series, then stick them below. Should be back to normal length video next week. Yeah, this was just a nice little bit of fun, getting some jobs done that we needed to get done. Some that would have been more behind the scenes, like getting the field plowed. I would have probably not done that as part of the video, but you know, it needed doing, so why not, hey? Apart from I slowed the time down for this end bit, because otherwise we were going to be in the dark, but keeping the clock running, something that I'm working on doing in all of the videos now. Keep the time moving, let's progress the saves, get forwards, get towards the end. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.